What if your most valuable asset wasn't something you could put in a bank? What if it was just the way you lived your life? And what if that very thing cost you, well, pretty much everything? This is a story about a man who had to face exactly that.
Wow, just let that sink in for a second. These are the words of Shivdan Singh, the father of an IAS officer. A man who runs a small flour mill out of a simple home. And, this one sentence, it's the key to this entire incredible story of courage and deep disappointment.
And get this, it's because of that principle, that capital of honesty, that his son just walked away from one of the most powerful and respected jobs in the entire country. The big question is, why? Why would anyone do that?
All right, so the man we're talking about is Rinku Singh Rahi, an officer from the Uttar Pradesh cadre. And his resignation, it isn't really the end of the story. It feels more like the latest, and maybe most shocking, chapter in a long, brutal fight between one man's integrity and the system he swore to serve.
So to really understand why a guy would give up a position that so many people dream of, we have to go back. We have to rewind to the very beginning, to the moment when his capital of honesty was first put to the ultimate test.
This timeline really lays out just what an extraordinary journey this has been. It all kicks off in 2009. He's a social welfare officer, and he uncovers a massive scam. That same year, he's nearly killed for it. But he keeps going, and against all odds, he becomes an IAS officer in 2023. But that victory, it didn't last long, leading to his resignation just a few years later. So let's break down exactly what happened.
It all started with this number, 100 crore rupees. That was the staggering scale of a scholarship scam that Rinku Singh Rahi exposed in Muzaffarnagar. We're talking about money that was meant for students just disappearing into thin air.
And what's really amazing is that he wasn't some high-flying investigator at the time. He was a social welfare officer, just doing his job, following the paper trail. But what he stumbled upon was explosive, and it made some very powerful people very, very angry.
So for his integrity, for just doing the right thing, Rinku Singh Rahi was about to pay a price that's, well, it's almost unimaginable. The system didn't just push back against him, it tried to permanently erase him.
7. That's how many bullets were fired into him. This was not a warning shot. This was a clear, brutal assassination attempt. They wanted to silence him forever.
He survived, somehow, but the attack left him with permanent scars. He lost the sight in one of his eyes. His jaw was completely shattered. The physical cost of his honesty was literally written on his face for the rest of his life.
But you have to wonder, where does someone get that kind of resilience? Well, it didn't come from nowhere. It was built on a foundation of integrity, laid years ago in that simple family home where honor was always worth more than wealth.
And here's the incredible part. After surviving that horrific attack, he didn't back down. He actually doubled down. He studied, he prepared, and he fought his way into the very administrative service he wanted to reform, becoming an IAS officer in 2023.
This table just says it all, doesn't it? You have the son, an IAS officer, holding one of the most powerful jobs in the country. And his father? He's still running the family flour mill. They live humbly, with no bank balance to speak of. The only thing they're holding on to is that one guiding principle.
Now you'd think after surviving a hail of bullets, the worst would be over. But Rinku Singh Rahi was about to face a completely different kind of assault. This one was silent, bureaucratic, and in a lot of ways, even more demoralizing.
And here is the absolute core of his final struggle. On paper, he had the prestigious title, IAS officer. He was drawing the salary. But the reality? He was given nothing to do. No files, no responsibilities. He was completely and totally sidelined. His father's words really capture the tragic simplicity of it all. Rinku wasn't asking for more power or a fancy promotion. He was just asking to be allowed to do the job he had sacrificed so much for. He just wanted to earn his salary by actually serving.
For a man who had faced down assassins, being made to feel useless, that was the ultimate insult. That was the breaking point. It's like the system couldn't kill him with bullets, so instead it tried to kill his spirit by denying him any purpose.
So Rinku Singh Rahi's resignation is so much more than just one man's decision. It holds up a mirror to the entire system, and it asks some really uncomfortable questions about what we, as a society, truly value.
So let's just think about what we've just seen.
An officer gets attacked for being honest. He survives, fights his way to the top, only to be punished all over again, this time by being forced to do nothing. His simple, profound request was just to work, and the family that raised him on these principles of integrity, they now feel totally let down.
And that really leaves us with one final, lingering question. When an honest man asks for a chance to serve, after everything he's been through, and the system's response is to put him in a corner and give him nothing to do, who really wins in that situation? Who comes out on top?